The lighting sucks. I know. I apologize. Hey everyone, it's me, Amanda, again. So I changed the camera angle a little bit because that wall over there was just so boring and the lighting was so bad. I know the lighting over here isn't much better, but I figured, you could just look around and see some other stuff besides the wall in the corner. I know I don't have much. Listen, I'm working with what I got, okay? And yeah, I know that I do not look very attractive right now. I kind of have my stomach hanging out. I don't know. I don't have a tripod, okay? And I don't have lighting. I am the worst, okay? Listen, I already know this. Let's just move on. You're probably thinking to yourself, Amanda, how in the world do you know how to be happy? Things haven't been going too great. Like, my life is not what I was expecting it to be at this point. I'm 25, I'm single, I'm living in a basement. If you thought this was an apartment, you were wrong. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's a basement. But you know what? I'm not gonna let that stuff get me down because, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Just keep persevering and, eventually things will work out or they won't. What is happiness exactly? Is it just some kind of chemical in your brain? Is it something you feel after you accomplish a goal for yourself or some kind of lifestyle or maybe you get it after extreme meditation? With this day and age with social media and everyone posting all of their stuff online, it can sometimes definitely feel like your life is just not adding up to what other people's lives are. And listen, it's perfectly normal for people to want to post happy things that are going on with their lives. I mean, I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure it's been proven that people get a euphoric type of feeling whenever they post something and people like or comment or share it. But I think this type of thing can also have very negative side effects, and I'm sure other people much smarter than me have already done studies on this. Because when you're constantly seeing this type of stuff online and your life itself is not equal or better than the stuff that you see, then you can definitely start to feel unfulfilled and defeated and less than. But that's what we're here to talk about, things that you can potentially do or start doing to understand and become a bit more happy. And I'm not going to say that all this stuff works. This is just stuff that I feel helps me, and maybe it'll help you. Let's get to it. 1. Stop comparing yourself to other people. This is pretty much directly referencing what I just said, where people are posting a lot of things about themselves that show off that oh, I'm doing this with my life, and I'm doing this with my life, and everything's going great, blah, 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 blah. Again, everybody does it. I do it. You want to share your success, and people aren't being jerks when they do that. It's not out of malice. But I have found myself comparing myself, whether it's with work or hobbies or relationships, anything. I find myself comparing my life to other people based on what they share. And I've had many conversations with other people who feel the same way. It's very easy to look at other people's Twitter or Instagram or whatever and just only see the good things. You don't see the bad parts. You don't see the struggles because typically people don't post that. And even if they do, you don't necessarily remember that when you are looking at someone else's life. And listen, I know saying that you should just stop comparing yourself to other people is not exactly an enlightened statement, and it's not exactly easy to do, but once you can start to realize that that's what you're doing, you can start to see the signs of it. Maybe next time you see a post like that you start comparing yourself to, you should remember when and why you post what you do on social media. And if you think that you post yourself only when you're having good times and that doesn't really reflect your life, you're still having troubles, you're still having a bad day, you're still struggling with, rent or kids or living in a basement, it doesn't reflect who you are necessarily. And the same goes for the other people that you're viewing. People typically post things, one, to share and, be happy, but also for validation, let's be honest. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to call people out. I do it too. It's normal. Everyone wants to be validated in life. And yes, I said most people, so if you're not one of those people who post for that reason, you're probably a liar, but it's okay. But seriously, everyone cares about what other people think to some extent. It's just, that some people have learned to kind of push those feelings and fears away a little bit. And if you're here to try and learn how to do that and push those types of feelings away, I can't help you with that. I'm still struggling with that. As I get older, I find that I'm getting more insecure. I mean, shame must be like a societal thing that's taught to you, because otherwise people would just run around naked and no one would care. But yeah, just keep in mind that what people post is not always a reflection of their life, just like your posts are not always a reflection of your life. Number 2, all life can't have meaning, right? I used to have this type of thought in my head all the time. The idea that every single person that will ever exist, all their lives, can't have meaning. And the argument that I kind of always hear about this is that, people can have small changes. Even if you're just nice to a stranger on the street, then maybe that will, change something that happened with them, and they'll be nice to another person, and maybe that'll affect someone else, and affect something else, and maybe it'll have this huge domino effect that'll affect this huge big change in the world. You just don't know. And while I agree with this type of thinking, you always want to put positive energy out into the world, because you don't know how it's going to affect people, and you definitely don't want to put negative energy out there. But to think that that's all that your meaning will ever have is just to be nice to people, that's not exactly a fulfilling sensation. Maybe every single person who exists will not have some grandiose fulfillment that will change the universe. But if you really want to get super cynical about it, no one really has that kind of effect on the world. We've got our historical figures, we've got our celebrities, we've got those people who have changed the course of history as we know it. But honestly, how do we know that, years from now, the history that we know will not be completely wiped out? I mean, if you really think about it, if there's a post-apocalyptic type of situation and history gets wiped out, all we'll have is word of mouth. And what if people don't really pass everything along? I mean, not everyone's going to remember every single thing that ever happened in history, so some of it's definitely getting erased. I'm spiraling, guys. This is getting dark. What I'm basically trying to say is that your life should have meaning for you. What I mean by that is that you should do things that make you feel fulfilled to yourself. Like learning how to cook. Sure, you're not going to become the greatest chef ever. You probably aren't going to solve world hunger, but if that's something that you want to do and it makes you feel better about yourself, then fucking do it. Basically, do things that, help you find meaning for yourself. Whether that's learning a new trade, fulfilling some kind of personal goal for yourself, whatever it is. Don't worry about affecting change around you, because 1, that'll come naturally, and 2, in the end, no one really has control over that. Number 3, you might need some friends. Humans are pretty much social creatures. Even the most introverted of us, myself included, you kind of go crazy if you don't have any social interaction. I mean, we basically know that from prisoners who are forced into isolation for long periods of time. It can literally mess with your head. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out into the real world to make friends. Some people can just get that kind of feeling from having friends online, and if that's, how you do, that's how you do. I ain't gonna judge. Now listen, the newer generations get a lot of flack from older generations saying that we don't have really good communication skills, and they're partly true. I've been noticing a bit of a trend, and I don't know if this is just me, so please tell me if this is just something I'm experiencing. We communicate a lot more frequently and globally, but it's kind of more surface level. This kind of goes back to us wanting to post things online and for validation. So we're only posting the good and the happy things. Or maybe we want validation because we're sad, and so we only post to get that kind of reaction, validating that we should feel better about ourselves. But that's not really deep conversations that I'm talking about. That's what I mean by friendships. You need those kinds of connections, the deeper connections, rather than just the surface level ones. But Amanda, what if I don't know how to make friends? To be perfectly honest, there's no one true way to make friends. The only thing I can think of that could maybe help you is to kind of step outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Honestly, the only reason I even made friends in college was because I forced myself to go to this LARPing thing, and then they asked me to join this D&D group that I said yes to, even though I had never played before. And then all of a sudden, bam, I just had friends everywhere. Like, I don't know where they came from. That just happened. So yeah, that's the key to happiness. You know, stop comparing yourself to other people. Do things that make you feel pleasure. That sounded wrong. Do things that, you know, make you happy and give you fulfillment. And get some friends. But Amanda, that can't be all. Yeah, you're probably right, and this video is just completely clickbait, but these are just some steps in the right direction. And if none of this helps you lead to a happier life, then just remember, everybody is unhappy. So take comfort in the fact that you're not alone. And, you know, just realize that everybody is just silently suffering. So yeah, that's this video. I'm gonna stop talking because my throat is very sore. I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like my voice is fading. This just shows how much I don't use my voice because, like, after just like an hour of talking, it's just gone. So yeah, just maybe comment down below, talk about things that maybe you do that help you realize, you know, get to a happier place, have a little bit more positivity in your life, all that jazz. Yeah, like this video if you want to see more, and as always, my name is Amanda. I'll see you next time.